Yeah, it's big.
This time on Timber Titans.
We're going into old harvest areas, picking up logs that were left previously.
That thing's lead, man.
We found our first sport of the day.
We're harvesting burnt wood.
Gotta make sure everything's going through the chipper.
Come on. Oh.
Hey, buddy. You may come flying right over. Roger.
We're right off your 12. Okay.
On the west coast of Vancouver Island. Integrated Operations is back at the Narrows.
So this is looking cedar.
Salvaging high-value cedar logs from the forest floor.
Got the volume out of that, hey? You betcha.
We're gonna go take a look at all these slabs up here. We're going into old harvest areas, picking up logs that were left previously that we think there's enough value to make a bit of profit on. Holy.
Walking through brush that is so thick, it's over 10 feet tall brush, not trees, brush, and crawling on hands and knees to get from one spot to the next spot.
There's a beautiful one right there.
We're navigating a whole hillside looking for pieces here, pieces there. Not a normal logging project.
How's it going?
We're gonna take it. Looks freaking awesome. We're gonna tag it as a heavy, a triple. I don't know that it'll be quite that heavy, but oh, come on. We got a multi-million-dollar operation here, and this $20 stapler holds us up.
This is hands down one of the most expensive ways to log. Lots of planning, lots of stress, and it's intense.
Salvage logging starts with forestry engineers hiking through old cut blocks, marking down trees and recording their GPS coordinates. Next, hill crews fly in with chainsaws to buck and rip the logs into pliable pieces. Each piece is tagged based on its estimated weight, then flown off the hill by a heavy lift helicopter.
We've got the Sikorsky S61, really good company, good pilots, fantastic machine.
The Sikorsky S61 is a powerful twin-engine aircraft with an 8,000-pound lift capacity.
We always look for the S61 short. The tail frame's been shortened so that you're losing as much weight as possible, allowing yourself to pull the maximum amount of log possible.
This year, we've got 100% water drop. Helicopter production's probably 5% better putting the wood in the water. He doesn't have to stop the log completely before it touches the water. You can actually hit the water fairly hard with the log. And then flies around and takes off for the next turn.
The wood is dropped into bags that are assembled with chain boomsticks and maintained by the tug crew.
Okay. Our job basically is just to look after the wood once it hits the water. We're assembling sticks, we're setting up bags, and the helicopter is going to fly the wood into it. Once they're done the job, a barge will come in and load it all up, and off to Vancouver it goes. Yeah, not bad.
We literally have blocks all the way up and down this valley. And so what that means is we have to set up multiple bags up and down the inlet. You have to make sure that the helicopter's flying the shortest distance possible. That's how we're maximizing efficiency on this project.
Where are you? You want to plunk down into this little block below me here? Oh yeah, okay, I got you guys.
The hill crew is in constant communication with the S61.
We need a way really quickly and efficiently to communicate to the pilot how much a log weighs. So we communicate with tags.
Turns just to our left.
This wood is so buried in brush, sometimes all the pilot sees is a tag.
Okay, I see it.
It's a pretty simple system. If you got a light log, you put a single tag on it. You got a heavy one, you put 3. And 2 tags should fly any time.
If it's under 5,000 pounds, we do 1 tag. If it's 5,000 or over, we do 2 tags. And a heavy maximum up closer to 7,500 to 8,000 pounds is 3 tags.
Woo! See you later.
What's the weight on that? 8 pounds.
Woo!
8 pounds, buddy. Hey. Okay, this is our last turn on the golf field. Okay, radar, man. Cool.
So this is the log I'm looking at. Big triple.
That triple tag is super important, so the pilots know not to try that log until the end of the cycle when they're low on fuel and light.
When he comes fresh full of the belly of fuel, he can't lift as much as he can towards the end of the cycle, where he's burned off most of that fuel.
Awesome. I'll get out of the way for you.
Yeah, it's big. Uh-oh. This doesn't feel good.
I think that one's gonna be a ripper.
That thing's lead, man.
We found our first abort of the day.
So an abort is a helicopter comes in to grab a log and tries to pick it up and it don't go nowhere. It's too heavy.
We just wasted 3 minutes of helicopter time, $1,000 on doing nothing. That is completely avoidable.
It's 5 meters. Like, who bucked this? It's the 3/8 log all day. It would have flown. That's what it should have been bucked at. I don't understand why it wasn't.
The log was tagged incorrectly by the previous hill crew.
I'm just gonna rip the top slab off, and then I'm gonna buck that end off. Then this'll go.
It was way too heavy to start with. So that, in my mind, was just kind of, you know, somebody either didn't know or they didn't care.
Now that that's gone, this is really close to flying now. So let's just take a chunk off.
You want to always catch your errors before the helicopter tries something. Lance and Max are really good at jumping on logs that need to be rejigged and fixed, and we call it fixed.
Hello, 61.
Hey, dude. Coming over. We're over after 9. Okay.
Yeah, I'm right under your nose here.
Betcha.
Unreal. Woo!
What's the weight on that one? 6,900. 69er. Oh, that makes me feel good. Good bucking.
In helicopter logging, everything you do is to make that heavy lift helicopter maximum efficient. So he's not spending 5 seconds longer, 1 second longer than need be in the air doing non-productive work.
That was a good call, Lance. Nice work. got you, Clark.
There's a pond in front of me there.
Yeah. Does that rattle your cage?
Oh, I'm sorry. God.
Deep in the Chilcotin, Tsideldel Biomass is salvaging burned timber from one of the largest wildfires of 2017.
The Elephant Hill fire has been burning for 70 days, leveling more than 120 homes and scorching more than 180,000 hectares of forest, an area 5 times the size of Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was a time. Fires everywhere. Everybody just came together. It was quite something, this, the experience.
Elephant Hill fire was one of the big ones that, started at Ashcroft and burned all the way to 100 Mile. They logged what they could earlier on, and since then, the rest is standing there rotten.
Starting into the block here, guys. Good morning.
Joe has been pioneering a biomass pilot project on Elephant Hill, along with a local company called Central Chilcotin Rehabilitation.
Central Chilcotin Rehabilitation is a joint venture initially between 2 First Nation communities, Tsideldel First Nation and Tsideldel government. We rehabilitate stands, extract wood fiber we can utilize there and get a new productive forest growing again.
We call this the Pressy Lake Project. We're harvesting burnt wood and trying to make something out of it that's got some value there.
We build budgets around a certain amount of production, so performance is key. We got to make sure that so much production happens, so many loads go to town every day in order to keep the ball rolling. It's a pretty simple process. Punchers cut it, and it usually breaks into 14 pieces before it hits the ground. Skidder skids it to roadside. We got a loader that sorts through the bunches by species and by burn. Stuff that's really badly burnt goes in the grinder to make biomass. A grinder takes wood and turns it into kindling, and if you were starting a fire, that's the perfect stuff to have it.
The kindling is sold to wood pellet plants, as well as the local power plant where it's converted to electricity for the province. Logs that are less fire damaged are set aside for the chipper, the centerpiece of the operation.
A chipper actually cuts a wood chip. It cuts it. It doesn't just smash it into 1,000 pieces.
Yesterday's quality report on fir chips. So we're sitting at 81% accepts, because you can see it even in this stuff here, right? So, like, that's the oversized chip. The ideal chip's probably 1.5 inches, kind of square, 3 to 5 millimeters thick. Depends on the pulp mill and the process of digestion that they use to get the pulp product out.
I'm gonna go get in the chipper so we can load the next truck.
Curtis is the block foreman and lead chipper operator.
Try to feed the equal same diameter logs through at the same time.
The chipper has its own small loader on the back, and you run the log in from the back end.
Inside the chipper, feed rolls pull each log through a series of spinning flail chains.
First 2 flails beat all the bark off so that you got a nice clean log, no bark.
That's the flail chain. The end links there, they're wearing thin, and they'll start to break. And then you're not debarking properly. I think we'll be okay for the rest of today. This is actually your chipping wheel. This does all the work. These 3 blades.
The chipping wheel sits at a set angle, spinning at the same RPM as the engine. And the log hits that chipping wheel, and it chips. It's a dimensional chip.
I'm just changing out my knives, changing the outer 2.
And the thickness of your chip is set by how fast you feed the log in.
If you change them often enough, you can sharpen your blade. If you run them too long, then you can't sharpen them.
Joe tells us how many loads he needs to go to the mill every day. That's our job to make sure they're there.
The chips and biomass are hauled in 8-axle trailers called Super B trains.
B trains pack maximum volume, maximum load. But they got bellies on them, right? And they're only maybe 8 to 10 inches off the ground.
They're actually meant for the highway. They're not meant to be in the bush where we have them.
The Pressy Lake Road runs 38 kilometers through the center of the block, ending at the provincial highway.
It's a crappy road. That's the best way to describe it. Just solid rock with clay on top of it. It's just endless mud when it gets wet.
The success of the project depends on preloading B trains and moving them down to the highway, so the haulers don't have to drive on the block road.
We have bush drivers, they stay in the bush, and they know the roads, where to drive, what not to do. That way it minimizes problems with random truck drivers coming into the block. They only have a certain amount of time to go to the mill and back each day. They can just grab a load and go.
There's some gnarly clouds coming in, eh?
The beauties of the Caribou, where you can go from fire shut down early shift to rained out all in the same day. Not good, not good. Thinking it better stop raining soon, or we're gonna go from too dry to too wet. Doesn't take much. A little bit of grease, truck starts spinning out.
Pressy Lake Road is snot. It is straight snot when it starts raining. It's hard to get around with a pickup.
We need to get at least 3 more loads. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Gross. Go make a phone call, see how adventurous we're gonna get today. I just tried to phone Joe. I just wanted to know what my parameters were, how adventurous we should get today, whether we're pulling with the skidders or just parking trucks.
There's times where you do call Joe, or, you know, how far do you want me to go? We'll solve the problem, but how much money do you want to spend, right?
I'm gonna go with my gut and what I think he would want me to do. It might not be what he wants us to do.
Hey, Kurt, Gary, there's 2 empties at the bottom of the hill.
Gotta make the call on the fly. Live by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing.
The bush drivers will brave the block road to get the empty B trains.
And it's feeling pretty greasy already. We just slid down that little hill.
When you come over these big hills and stuff, again, if it's wet or snowing, you'll slide. You'll go on a toboggan ride for sure.
Not looking good. So low to the ground, can't go over steep pitches, gets muddy, and then you start building a little bit of ruts.
Starting to spin already?
Oh yeah, sliding down the hills, spinning. You bigger, Curtis?
Hear me, Curtis?
Oh, look at that, right? Spun out truck.
Yeah, ready to make this hill.
Bigger, Curtis?
Oh, we got a spun out truck.
At Pressy Lake.
Yeah, ready to make this hill.
A blast of rain traps 2 empty chip trucks on the muddy block road.
Curtis?
I'll pull those guys up the hill.
Okay.
We're gonna go get the skidder.
The trailers need to be preloaded today for an early morning pickup.
Little hiccups happen all the time. That's why you gotta have the tools and the guys willing to make it happen. It's always good to know how to run everything on the block.
As a 3rd-generation logger, Curtis has been around machines his entire life.
My dad was a logger, and so was my grandpa. My dad used to take us with him in the low bed truck when I could sleep on the passenger seat, so I was, 3, 4 years old. That's all I've ever known.
He's top production for sure. You know, I'm not just saying that because he's my son. Okay, so Curtis is my youngest son. He's a buncherman, you know, skidder operator, cat operator, hoe operator. You know, he just liked equipment. And I think that's because when I took him to work, that's all I was ever doing.
Pull you right up around that corner, up onto the flat.
Hey, garage.
Oh, you betcha. The pin doesn't want to lift?
No, it does, but I can't.
Want me to hold it up?
Maybe. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Teamwork.
You alright?
Yeah, you bet. Have no trouble at all.
Beauty.
Good there in that case?
Sounds good. Sweet, sweet. Good as long as the rain doesn't continue. Good work. We're gonna do what we were supposed to do today, even though the weather didn't really want to cooperate.
Oh, logging is 100% a team sport.
There's a sense of pride making sure all the loads are accounted for at the end of the day. Then everybody gets their paycheck.
Yeah, we pulled about 5 tags in that block truck, and then we re-tagged some.
At the Narrows,
So this is the one I'm concerned about. I think we got about 15 turns marked in that block.
Sig and Sean QC the blocks.
Oh yes, there's a few we can check out up here.
After a number of aborted turns and mistags were reported yesterday.
I think it's my 3rd time in this block, but I haven't been here since they bucked it. The very nature of salvage is that the trees that we go to recover are spread out, sometimes kilometers apart.
This is a nice piece. Probably 2 cubes, 2.5 cubes.
It's almost impossible to oversee everything that someone's doing.
Hey, Stick.
Further up the hill,
I'm gonna start heading up to the high side of the block here.
Lance is ahead of the S61, preparing the next block for flight.
You see that kind of log poking up? Something's going on right there. That better not be a tagged log.
So we had a few places that the logs were not tagged properly.
Whoa, watch that hole.
Before I put my name on a helicopter going somewhere, I want to make sure that I've seen what's going on there, and I want to know that that wood is going to fly.
Oh, wow. That is never going anywhere. Okay, so that's what I would call an abort. How are you going to pull that log out from under that tree? This should have been walked away from in the first place. So I'm going to put an X on that so somebody else doesn't come along and tag that. It's so important to catch these aborts before they happen. I don't even want this log. It's crap. I just found this one log, total piece of and having a tag on it. Ideally, somebody never tagged that. Unreal, man. So what we do with that, pull the tags. What is going on here?
When you have a problem, like a person not tagging properly, that keeps ongoing being a problem until you catch up.
Hey, Lance. Are you seeing a lot up there, or is this just the odd turn?
I pulled tags off up there of utility and crap.
We found even more errors on the tagging than we ever anticipated. We were blindsided, you could say, by it.
This one's gonna have to be left, so we're gonna pull the tags on it.
We're looking for high grade, high-end lumber type logs. And you don't always know if the log you're looking at is going to produce that.
Some of those logs have been on the ground for 100 years, soaking up water. You can only see the top surface of the log. You can't see what's underneath. It could be rotten. To make our sales value, we absolutely have to have a certain quality of log. There's a threshold at which we start to lose money.
What we're trying to avoid is spending $600 to fly this thing out to a landing, plus the barging costs and everything else that goes into getting this thing to the point where it can actually be scaled and we can get paid.
When mistakes are made, it's hard not to get a little worked up or worried. Is there more of this? Is there too much of this? Are we going to be flying logs that shouldn't be coming off the hill?
It's just a really poor stand to begin with. So I'm not surprised with what I found. I'm just disappointed that so much of it was marked to fly.
We've probably at this point got close to $1 million invested into the small volume that we have. So we're now going to reduce the volume we're going to take. I know we're impacting our bottom line here.
I want to do a debrief with all the boys.
We're going to start our day heli logging again.
It's a new day on the West Coast.
It's a great day to travel by boat. It's flat calm.
Go sig.
Go for sig.
We got the first bag in the pocket here. Yeah, thanks.
The tug crew delivers the first bag of logs to the pocket.
When the barge arrives, you kind of want all the wood there for it because it'll load fairly quick. We'll string the next bag together so the chopper will have an empty bag to fly into. A log or just a piece of... Just saw something. I think it's just moss. We're just gonna have a look here. Could be a low floating log. We don't want to lose one. Just a chunk of wood, yeah. That's a big piece of wood. Just choke it. Yeah, it sure was hard to tell. There wasn't much above the water there.
I'd have to say about $3,000 would be my best guess how much that log is worth, but pretty big.
Loose logs, they float so low, they just kind of turtle underneath the sticks and float away, so you gotta kind of watch that. Looks like high grade. We don't want to let those get away. I'm glad we stopped. Sig wouldn't have liked that.
It's not looking great, Sig.
On shore, Sig and Sean have called a crew meeting.
So this is for all of us here that are on the hill. So what really got me going yesterday, I pulled 7 tags because it's just too rough a wood. It is really stressful we see these errors.
Yeah, there's just a lot of head scratchers out there.
You got to take an extra look. Be aware of the timber around you because some of it just won't throw high grade. So now every cubic meter less than what was intended to be produced increases the cost of the barge to Vancouver. If there's any wood that we missed, that's our opportunity to add volume. I think we need to get every stick we can. We're gonna go and buck some I found in 14, 15.
We're gonna go to 10, hit that, and then we can walk up to 11.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Good. Yeah, we'll see you guys in a little while then.
The hill crews will revisit the blocks to search for high-grade logs that may have been missed on the first pass.
Find some more wood, Glenn. Find some more wood. There's a ripper right down there. Yeah. Yeah, that's a long ways. Right there.
It takes about 4 minutes to get a log to the pocket and back from some of these long flies.
Thanks, sir. All right, talk to you in a bit.
So you better make sure that every log that comes out of there is the nicest log in the world. Trekking around in the Narrows. I don't know what's worse, that or hell. You gotta cover the ground, otherwise you ain't gonna find the wood.
I believe that log I'm talking about is right there. Okay, look at this nice big bad boy.
Did you cut a window out of this side?
It's been laying on the ground, soaking up water for a million years. Until you cut into that log, you can't really gauge quality.
Whoa!
Is it nice?
Oh yeah.
The log is high-grade cedar.
Tell me when you get to 5-1 on this one.
There.
Perfect. We'll hit one there.
Yeah.
They'll buck it into lengths so it can fly.
A minimum high-grade length is 5.1 meters long, which is about 16 feet. If we cut it shorter than that, it's gonna lose value.
Where are we moving to there, Cole?
Probably the next deck.
Go back to him.
At Pressy Lake, a new chipping crew is on shift.
Just moving the chipper because we're out of wood here. It's fairly simple, but just time consuming. Here's the move.
Instead of dragging wood to the chipper, they drag the chipper up and down the block road to pre-sorted decks.
Some areas are definitely harder than others getting that chipper to go where you want it, especially when it's soft or muddy.
Everybody that's out here is really good, but one guy that really stands out right off the bat is Cole. He just got trained up this summer on the chipper.
He was a skidder operator.
The skidder could only do so much, and then once you master it, it's onto a different horse, I guess.
Go down.
I've never had an easier guy to train to run a piece of equipment. When you show up with a clipboard to take notes, it means you want to do a good job.
One or two more there, Kelly.
That should be good.
When I first showed up, I was like, looking at it, you like don't know what the hell's going on in there. Then after working on it, kind of wrapped your head around it.
You want these bigger ones there, Cole, to run through?
Yeah, we'll give it a try. Just throwing in some beautiful long-ass trees, and then we should be good. We'll see in a minute here.
Trying to make sure everything's going through the chipper, making sure wood's not stalling out, listening for any noises or smells, trying to keep the chipper safe.
I feel it coming out too slow.
What the f is that?
Oh, come on. Tell me you're stuck in. Oh, come on. Tell me you're stuck in.
At Pressy Lake, the chipper has stopped chipping.
Gonna hop out of the chipper.
Need a hand, big fella?
I'll just get you to grab this chain.
Oh, you jammed her?
Yeah.
Big fir, especially when it's dead and rotten, that stuff can plug up pretty fast just because of the volume that's coming out of there.
You want me to wrap a chain around there?
Yeah, I'll throw it around your grapple.
Fir, they all have a crook to them, right? And if you don't get that bend in there the right way, it'll wedge in the chipper and you're screwed.
Oh, we're just getting this, throwing a chain on this stuck log here. These short ones always like to try and jam up on you. This is usually what I hate, just because it adds time to the truck sitting.
Just cuts into your time of loading the truck, and then you won't get out as many trucks.
Only thing I'm really worried about is time out here.
That's everything. Now we fire back up. Do not want that log in there again. There she goes. She's going through.
Good to go.
At the Narrows, Lance and Max prepare a high-grade cedar for flight.
Can't get over how big this thing is. Like, this thing could have been down here for 20 years. It's actually 7'10" across there.
7'10"?
Man, this goes down to the dirt. I think it's actually gonna be bigger than we think it is. I'm digging my hand under and I'm not even feeling the bottom of the log.
The bucked lengths are still too heavy for the helicopter.
It's already the shortest length that the customer wants. So if we bucked it back, it could throw it out a high grade.
To maintain the length, the bucked log needs to be cut down the middle.
If it's a solid log, we'll rip it right down the middle and split it in 2 solid halves. But this is not a solid log. It's got natural cracks in it, so we should be able to just rip it apart with the grapple.
Sometimes there's a log that hit the ground 100 years ago and split into slabs. So we cut some windows in between those slabs, paint them all up, and the helicopter put the grapple right in those holes and pull those slabs apart for me.
If we did this all right, he should be able to pull this apart without having cut the whole log.
So there's 6 turns sitting right here for this machine, but about 24 meters of wood in this one tree, which is probably worth 15 grand.
He's gonna need some serious power to pull her.
Hello, 61. Lefty crew. All right, we got a couple of flyers here for you now.
It should come apart just like we thought. They put some grapple marks on it, painted the crack.
Okay. Wishing you luck. I'm gonna need it. So are you.
Worst case scenario is this thing doesn't come apart in the slabs that we're looking at here. Let's get out of here.
If the log doesn't rip, it'll be another costly abort.
Flat right off to 11:30, buddy. Okay, I'm gonna try this and we'll let you know. We're gonna have to do a different approach than that.
Get nervous.
He's pulling hard.
Stand by, please.
Worst case scenario is this thing doesn't come apart.
We're gonna have to do a different approach than that.
At the Narrows, the S61 attempts to rip apart a massive cedar with its grapple.
Stand by, please.
We have some really experienced pilots. They can pull slabs apart like no one else.
Oh.
Sick. Woo! Awesome. That's how you do a ripper without actually having to rip it. You find the cracks, you paint it up, you tag everything properly, and boom, she comes apart like that. And that's a perfect world. Lots of times you get a huge headache, man. But that worked out great.
Sig's gonna be pretty stoked when that thing splashes in the pocket.
Yeah.
The ripper will add 6 giant slabs of high-grade cedar to the pocket.
How much was that one, right?
That's about as good as it gets, man.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty cool, and you can see the full turn right over the mountain.
Yeah.
Everything we do is getting paid by the wood we move. And if it doesn't make that minimum grade, it's not worth very much money.
We got your official 61 timer.
2.45. And the one before that was about a 2.3.
At this point, we've seen a lot of nice wood fly, but we've seen a lot of not so nice wood fly too, and that's kind of in the back of our minds there at this point.
Oh, we're looking up there right now. Snowing.
At Pressy Lake, a sudden drop in temperature is a welcome sign.
Pretty snowy, but nothing out of the usual.
Here it comes, and get ready for it. So you better get your tire chains all tuned up because you're gonna need them. Yeah, you're okay there, Kelly. That's good.
That's just being a logger biomass guy, right? Winter's your best time of year.
The freeze is very important. The sooner it freezes and the later it thaws, we're happy with that. We're going to be going full tilt starting Monday.
Winter will be the final push for Joe and his team.
Pull out of the tipper.
Once the season ends, they'll find out if the biomass pilot project was a success.
Biomass makes so much sense, but it seems to be such a hard sell.
Think you get by on the right side there, Kelly? Yeah, I think so.
I've always been the type of person that if somebody told you couldn't do it, I'd try twice as hard to do it just to prove them wrong.
Joe's a biomass champion, very passionate about what he does, and glad to have him on our team too.
Okay, have a good weekend, you guys.
Careful on the hill. That's not the hill, the bottom. That's where it usually hurts. Yeah, the quick stop.
Big logs, heavy logs.
Next time on Timber Titans.
Well, Ralph's gonna get mad saying he don't like fighting hang-ups. I can't take it! Oh yeah, there we go.
There goes nothing.
Everybody's working together, trying to get wood out.
I can't even budge.
Everything's a struggle.
Whoa, doesn't look good.